Today, on Be Something Wonderful, you can manifest anyone or anything. Just assume it's yours. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. One of you mentioned that you reached out to your specific person after many months of manifesting them, of imagining and affirming your desired reality with them. And you said it was a really nice email telling them how you feel. And that they also returned a very lovely email telling you how they feel, right? But it was very nice that they care about you, but yet they're not in love with you anymore, that they have moved on, and that they hope and wish, because they do care for you, that you find love and that you move on. And you said you were devastated, but hear this. Remember that you're writing to a version of them that's not your desired version. That's not your desired reality. You're writing from the version of you that's trying to manifest them, trying to change their mind so they love you and they can be with you. A version of you that still assumes and believes that you can manifest them and change their mind. And that's why he answered like that. That's not your desired reality. That's not your desired version of him. That's not your desired version of you. So we're going to talk about this today like we never have before. And what's powerful about today's video, it's to manifest anything, not just a specific person, money, jobs, cars, anything you want, anything you desire, right? An improvement in health, right? An improvement in your physical appearance, if that's what you want. Anything. You can and you do, literally, actually, for real, manifest anyone or anything by simply assuming it's yours. That you are that I am, that version of you, for whom and through whom your desired reality or experience is real. You're doing it in every moment, right? And again, it's not about, the question is never about, is it easy or hard? Is it fast or slow? Is it possible or not possible? It's law. It's absolute law. It's not about that. Those are limited 3D linear ideas from a limited personality, that some things are hard and easy and fast and slow and possible and not possible. All things are possible. It's law. It's the law of being. It's the law of I am. It's the law of God. As expressed, as experienced and demonstrated through and as your present beliefs and assumptions about yourself and your world. Wow. You express the law through your assumptions and beliefs of who you are, your self-concept. The law is flawless. It's always on. It's all you. That's how you manifest and create your entire life experience, past, present, and future. Everything that you want and desire, everything that you're experiencing. Past, present, and future, because it's all now. And I brought this up in a video, a recent video that I believe was on the Tom Kearin YouTube channel. This quote from Seth, the non-physical Seth that was channeled through Jane Roberts in the 60s and 70s and early 80s. And those are available in books called the Seth Materials, Seth Speaks, and other books. And this is what Seth said through Jane Roberts, the channel. Your present beliefs, in other words, your present assumptions of yourself and your reality, what you believe to be true of yourself and your reality, structure the memories. Wow. Memories, remember, in other words, they rearrange images or frames of reality or mental images or information of all that is and all that you are, that pure potential. They structure memories which will parade before you now. And what you remember will then seem to justify the beliefs or assumptions. Wow. That's why spiritual teachers and others always say, argue for your limitations, and they're yours. Because you create them as you argue for them. They parade before you in the circumstances of your life. That's powerful. Your present beliefs or assumptions of yourself, what you believe to be true of yourself and your reality. Structure the memories. What are memories? They're mental images. They're imaginal acts. They're frozen frames of light or reality or information of all that is. It's the substance of all that is. It's that pure potential. It's reality itself. It's existence itself. They structure existence itself, which will parade before you now. And what you remember will then seem to justify those beliefs. In other words, you believe that's your past. You believe that's who you are. You won't know the difference. You'll say, no, I always remembered it that way. But you don't know that. You only know what you believe right now, what you assume right now. That's the illusion. Right? When Seth says it will seem to justify those beliefs or assumptions, that's the illusion. What's an illusion mean? Illusion means nothing is as it seems. There's a greater reality behind it, and you are that greater reality. So nothing is as it seems, but rather it's as you are. Or in other words, as you believe and assume you are or it is. Wow. Yourself, others, and reality. Remember, we said this in a few videos now. Your beliefs and assumptions filter out entire worlds or realities. As you rearrange and thread together frozen frames of light or information or mental images or memories, and manifest and create your entire life experience or your I am story. Your entire life experience. Someone pointed out, someone mentioned the reticular activating system or RAS, that neural network in your brain that acts as a filter. Yes, but that's just a concession. That's a manifestation of your metaphysical filter, your true identity. So yeah, we know about the RAS, no kidding, the reticular activating system. Doesn't matter, that's just a manifestation. That's the physical idea of the metaphysical filter of your concept of yourself. Wow, that's powerful. So this diagram, again, I've done this many different ways, but take a good look at this today, because this is going to really do it. You got the great I am, the one intelligent, self-aware, divine mind of God, or all that is. That self-aware intelligence, right? That is not, it's one mind. That includes all minds, in other words, all finite perspectives of that one great I am. And you're a center of it. You, as an individualized, personalized, conscious, self-aware focus of that one divine mind, or what you call your conscious mind. And there are infinite ideas of conscious minds, but there's only one mind. All of those ideas of your mind and other infinite finite minds are just ideas of the one mind. They're just perspectives or viewpoints or vantage points of all that is, seeing itself. That's why some people point out the term when we say this, they say, oh, that's solipsism. It's not solipsism. Solipsism means my limited conscious mind. My mind is the only mind there is. That there is no divine mind. There is no, I'm the only mind. I'm the only reality. That's different. When we say I am the only reality, we're saying you're that great I am. You're the center of all of it. You're all that is. That you include everything else and everybody else as part of that one. In solipsism, you're excluding everyone else. Right? Like they're paper cutouts. They're nothing. They're not consciousness. I'm the only consciousness. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about your infinite idea of who you are. You and everyone else. What we call the conscious mind. This is what This is beautiful. And I said this also in that same video on the Tom Kearin channel. Through Seth through Jane Roberts, the channel. There's nothing wrong with the conscious mind. This is Seth. There's nothing wrong with the conscious mind. You have simply put a lid on it, allowing it to be only so conscious and no more. Wow. What's the lid? What's the lid that you're putting on it? Look at this green here. Your assumptions and beliefs, what's true for you and your truth or concept of yourself. That's the lid. Do you see? It's also what we've referred to as your subjective identity or your subconscious identity, right? What some refer to as the subconscious mind, but remember, there's only one mind, right? Conscious mind, subconscious mind, superconsciousness, there's just one consciousness. And then there's what you believe to be true or the truth of who you are, what you might call your subconscious mind or your neighborhood. Then there's what you're consciously focused on as awareness, but there's no separation. There's nothing wrong with your 3D physical perspective. Your conscious, self-aware perspective here and now. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not broken. You don't have to do anything with that. You have simply just put a lid on it, allowing it to be only so conscious and no more. Limited by these, remember that the idea that all beliefs and assumptions are limited by nature, by definition. Right? All assumptions and beliefs take on a limitation. But it's not a limitation meaning that you're restricted. It just means you have a certain perspective or viewpoint, a vantage point at that moment. It's limiting you to that viewpoint. But because we believe that viewpoint to be real or what is reality, then we call them limiting beliefs. Because it limits us. And we feel like we don't have control over it. We feel like it's automatically controlling our lives. But it's not. It's just because you're not questioning them anymore. You believe that's reality. That's the truth. When it's not, it's just a truth of all that you are. Wow. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. We're going to see this today. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your reality. There's nothing wrong with your beliefs and assumptions. It's not about fixing your self-concept or improving it, or releasing, or even the idea of releasing your old self or reality. It's not even about that. Just don't hold on to anything. You don't have to release it. You don't let those go. There's nowhere to put it. You don't get rid of any reality or version of you. Infinity is infinity. Infinity is it. It includes everything. All it is all it is. There's nowhere to put anything. Right? You can't hide anything. Just hold on to nothing. It's not about finding and digging up limiting and negative beliefs and assumptions. They're just beliefs and assumptions. They're just a perspective or a viewpoint that appears negative when it's no longer your choice. Wow. When you no longer resonate with it. When you no longer define it as who you all of a sudden call it a negative belief. Trying to get rid of it. Creating more of it. More of experiences that are not your desire. Do you see? So remember that there's no bottom. You're going to find plenty of them as you dig because you're putting them there as you dig. Imagine digging a hole and then keep filling it with at the same time. And you just keep digging, but you keep filling it. That's what you're doing. Nothing is broken. Not you, not your reality, not your assumptions and beliefs. It's not about changing anything in infinity, changing anything in all that is, it's not about changing anything that you are. You're an infinite, multidimensional, limitless being. It's not about getting rid of or resisting. It's about allowing and choosing again. Choose again. Those beliefs that you're calling negative, they simply don't reflect who you choose to be anymore. They don't reflect the experience of reality that you desire to have now as reality itself. That's why they don't feel good. Do you see? They don't feel good, and then all of a sudden we just call them negative. We try to get rid of them and call them all sorts of names. They simply don't reflect who you are. That's all that your body's telling you. It's not who you are anymore. It's not your choice. You don't resonate with that reality. That's why it doesn't feel good. Not because you or your reality or belief assumptions are broken or wrong. They're simply not your choice. Do you see, when it doesn't feel good, when we have that sensation, what we call a negative emotion, we believe there's something wrong with us, with our beliefs, with our assumptions, with reality. It just means that reality that you're feeling is simply not your choice anymore. Choose again. You're all that is. No matter how much you imagine and affirm, this points to this person that reached out to their specific person after many months of affirming and imagining. No matter how much you imagine and affirm, you can't beat your subconscious into assuming and accepting what you don't consciously assume and accept as the truth of who you are. Wow. Hear that again. Right? You're trying to impress it, trying to beat it into submission. No matter how much you affirm and imagine. That's why you said, I affirmed and imagined for nearly a whole year. Well, no matter how much you do that, you can't beat your subconscious into assuming and accepting what you don't consciously assume and accept as the truth of who you are. You believe that is reality. You believe that's the truth. So no matter how much you affirm and imagine, it's about you accepting that truth right now of who you are. That's powerful. You see it again. No matter how much you imagine and affirm, you can't beat that subconscious into assuming and accepting what you don't consciously assume and accept as the truth of who you are. Right? That God or that great power that exists as you can't give you what you deny yourself. Whew, that's powerful. After a year of imagining and affirming that we are together, I wrote him a nice letter. And he replied saying, a very kind letter. And he wrote back very nicely that he moved on and wishes that she is happy and finds love. That, in other words, that she moves on. But who did that letter go to? It went to a different version of him. It went to the version that moved on, that doesn't want to be with her. And it came from the version of you that assumes that you can change his mind and manifest him back and change a script that's already been written, a reality that has its own fate. You don't change that fate, you don't change that reality, you don't change any part of all that is. You choose a new version of you, a new reality that has the fate and destiny of you two together. Remember, you're not influencing or changing his free will. That reality, that free will, he chose not to be with you in that reality. But there's a reality where his free will aligns with yours, where you both choose each other. He moved on in that version of you, him, in reality, you're not together in that version that you wrote from and to him. He moved on, but you haven't. You haven't moved on from the assumption and belief that you are the version of you who is still not his choice, but can change that, can manifest him back, can change his mind. And remember, you don't change anyone's mind. There's only one mind. And you're thinking into it. In every moment, you're assuming into it. You don't change him or that reality. You assume a new version of you that is fulfilled and free to choose whatever you want and desire. And then you can imagine him. But this is why it seems so stubborn to you, right? I think you mentioned it felt so stubborn. There you are, all that power that you are, and you create this linear, horizontal experience where you broke up. You're trying to get back to him. You're trying to now have him return to you. And you create a future where you're still not with him. That all exists right now. All possible fates and destinies exist You don't change this reality. You don't change this script. You don't change that possibility. The script is written, as A Course in Miracles says. But there are infinite versions of you in scripts that exist here and now. You don't change any part of all that is. That's why they call it all that is. Right? All possibilities exist. That reality and version of you and him not together doesn't change. You can't change part of God or part of reality. It has its own fate. It has its own destiny, but there are infinite fates and destinies. You can light up the reality, the script of your choice, where you're together. That's powerful. Remember, this is all happening now. Past, present, and future. Wow. So what do you want to do? What do I do, Tom? This is what you do. Make it about you. The who is you. It's about who, and the who is you. It's not even about him. Then imagine and affirm anything you want. Make it about you. You being fulfilled. You being complete. You being whole. Not trying to change a reality or manifest anything back. When you imagine and assume that you are that which you desire to be, those present assumptions and beliefs, now you're structuring reality. Now you're rearranging everything. Right? Now these new beliefs and assumptions will parade in front of you. Right? Parade in front of you with everything that you want, desire, as Seth would say. And the thoughts and the feelings and the circumstances that don't align with that don't matter. They're irrelevant. They're not your choice. Who cares? Do nothing with them. Do nothing with them. Just stand in that assumption. You're going to say, well, Tom, aren't the thoughts and feelings, but aren't I supposed to have only thoughts of that fulfillment? Remember, you're all that is. You can have thoughts and feelings of anything. But the ones that you give power to and authority are only the ones that you define yourself to be. Define yourself as that person you desire to be, period. This is the superimposed version of you, all realities, as all that is, as I am awareness, as the center of that one divine mind. There are infinite possibilities. And you are always all of those. So you never get rid of anyone. You integrate them all and create a new idea of who you are right now. Remember, it's always expanding. These go on and on and on. On and on and on. As you, in every moment, you're creating a new version of you. A new version of reality. Every moment, it's infinity. There are no borders. And you're always that superimposed version. That never changes. You're always that. And then as you decide, I am fulfilled, I'm free, and I'm complete right now, then you create that past, present, and future of fulfillment, where you've always been fulfilled and will always be fulfilled because it's all created now. Then you create that manifested physical experience being with your specific person, all right now. But it's not the version that said no. It's not the version that was very kind but said, I don't love you anymore and I hope that you find love. That's a different version of you, a different version of him, a different version of reality. You can manifest anything or anyone. Just assume it's already yours. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, be sure to check out the Tom Kearin channel for the videos that we've been posting there, some really powerful ones. We're getting a lot of you are making some beautiful comments on those. Thank you. And also join us here this coming May for our next live event. It's our 5th live event or our live stream of the year. We're going to be announcing that today on the community boards on both channels. With great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, creators, see you soon.